Hey everyone, it's Rob with Passport to the Parks, and today is Monday, March the 11th, and I'm here at Disney's Hollywood Studios to kind of go through and see what's happening. There's so much going on here, and there's so much potential for what could be going on here that I kind of just wanted to take some time and go through the park itself. I spent so much time here on the Disney Skyliner and wanted to spend a little bit more time on the park. Obviously, we had the awesome announcement with Galaxy's Edge opening, and we're going to take a look at that and have some other ideas about what's going on. But we're going to look at everything that they've done so far out in the parking lot, all the transportation, inside, outside. We'll go through it all. So let me bring up my chat here. I know we've probably got people coming on. Wow, lots of people. Wow, lots of people coming on. Jack, Kurt, Jack, Sandy got claws. Let's see, Danielle. Need to get the hubby back shortly. Kurt, welcome. Bethany, Nick, Jack, Kurt, I'm probably repeating some people here. Danielle, Bethany, welcome. Janelle, hello. Joe, Carl, Lisa Warden, photographer. Jimmy, hello. Matthew, kind. Hey Rob, I'll be there in a couple weeks. Hope to run into you. Absolutely. Charles, Elbin, wishes forever. Audrey. All right, let me turn you guys around. I'm actually out in the parking lot. Just came through the tram area. Pasta Fazool, welcome. Always good to have you here. Joyce, welcome. So this is we'll start in the parking lot here, because this is kind of where it all kind of started. They started doing this huge expansion out here in the parking lot. This parking lot basically used to be about half the size of it is now. They moved the front entrance, which used to be off of Buena Vista, which was right in this general direction out here, and they relocated it off of Victory Way now is your main entrance, and it's more towards Osceola. It's a beautiful new entrance, really wide, lots of cars can come through. Getting into the parking lot is a very quick process, and getting out is a very quick process. So that was a huge deal for Disney as far as infrastructure goes, to sort of accommodate all the people that they're going to be expecting here. So right now the temporary tram stop is just ahead of us. So you have to walk down this makeshift walkway towards the current front entrance. And you can see a lot of construction going on there as well. You have the Disney Skyliner in the distance, as well as the new bus stations and boat transportation. You can see the Swan and Dolphin and a lot of stuff in the background, the Tower of Terror. This fenced-in area right here, I believe, is going to be the new tram area, kind of what they're working on back here. So the trams will extend from where they're currently at around into this general area here, which is going to bring us up closer to what's going to be the new front entrance. And we'll talk about that here in a moment as well. Got a bunch more people coming on. Colleen, so glad to see me live for the first time. Awesome. Mike Wheeler, good afternoon. Robinson, thank you once again for the Fantasmic the other night. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Really love that show very, very much. It's even better in person. Florida Jokian, did you see the gondola video of testing of the wind? The gondola is moving in a lot of wind. Yeah, I did see that. That really wasn't a whole lot of wind. Somebody posted, I don't even know who, but not really a big deal. They were kind of swaying back and forth, and they're definitely designed to do that. They're actually designed for some pretty heavy winds. But yeah, it's kind of cool to see them. I've seen them. It was actually in the rain, one of the first testing days that I was out here in the pouring down rain, and they were swaying pretty good, and they were running them in storm conditions out there, so I thought that was pretty cool as well. Matt, Jeffrey, welcome. Sue, good morning from Washington State. Okay, so we were talking about, this is most likely going to be the new tram area, so the trams will definitely come up a little closer than what they are now. They've also done they've expanded the parking lot really far, all the way down to that tree line, and they've expanded the cast parking as well. So the cast parking lot is a lot bigger to accommodate a lot more cast, and I think there's kind of some reasoning behind that too. I have some theories. Who knows if they'll come true or not, but we'll talk about that once we get inside the park. So we're going to walk up a little more towards the entrance here, and they're constructing this structure in front of us, which I originally thought was going to be the tram station, but in talking to most of the cast members here and figuring out exactly what this was going to be, This is actually going to be part of the new entrance itself, and it's going to be completely redesigned. Once we get a little closer, we'll talk about it here. It's kind of a long walk from the bus stations and the tram right now to get up to the front entrance. Here, we'll stop right here. Got a whole big group of people coming in now from the tram. So this structure that you see in front of us is actually going to wrap all the way around the front entrance. And once we get a little closer, we'll see the Sorcerer Mickey little icon that's up there, which is going to eventually get moved, and I'll show you why. But this is all going to be all new front entrance, so the trams will come up here, so you won't have to make this walk from the trams. The Skyliner station, the bus stations will all incorporate now closer into this new front entrance. Skyliner has not moved at all since I've been here. They're on their little hiatus. They always, right around between like 11:30 and 12:30, they usually go on a little hiatus for whatever reason, probably their lunch. But you can see beautiful yellow is sitting right there in the station, right up front. So we'll walk down here a little bit and we'll see the new bus area and obviously the Skyliner station. And now they're going to start up. As soon as we walk over, they're going to send the beautiful, beautiful yellow gondola up into the air. It's a lovely, lovely sight. So again, they've unwrapped that gondola so they can do a lot of temperature testing inside. They want to see exactly what kind of heat levels they're going to. They'll have temperature gauges. They'll be able to airflow through there. A good idea of what people are going to expect as far as temperatures. So everybody's heading in, and I'm heading the opposite direction. Just for now. We'll head inside shortly.
This is why we have to start organizing AF.
Now, some of this you probably have already seen in my previous videos, but I want to incorporate everything today so we can kind of talk about everything as a whole as far as what Hollywood Studios is going through. So right now there's a temporary bus stop that heads all the way down. Where all these people are coming from is the temporary bus stop for Disney. And these are all brand new bus stops that they built. And these are virtually pretty well close to being done. All the signage is done. They've just finished up on most of the painting on the outside. I would imagine these would probably be open within the next month at least. Hey, JW Dossel, thank you so much for the super chat. See you there in August. Hope on the Skyliner. Absolutely, my friend. Thank you very much for the super chat. Always, always appreciated. Cammy's not here to give you a scream. Sorry. Coast Guard Vet, I very much appreciate videos from. Thank you for sharing. How's it going? You saw it. I sent you an email, Robert Path meeting up. I may not have seen that yet. I try to check it as much as possible and try to catch up on that, but I will look. Follow the Brad. Hold them off on the weekend. Yeah, really running much on the weekend. I shoot in and out of here every once in a while. Sometimes they do run on the weekend, but most of the time I don't believe they're running the gondolas over the weekend. Now, more and more now because we're to Galaxy's Edge, and they're probably going to want to get this going as much as possible. All right, let's see. D-Wood are the workers. Riding in the yellow one are hauling workers like the overhead utility. I don't know if they put anybody inside. You know, maybe somebody from Doppelmayr could ride using passengers in the gondola. They're still working on full load testing. Reached yet? You can see there's a lot of different in are weighted down, and they're more water weights and closer to the full load test. It's kind of, but further down, you can see a lot of sag in the haul rope, which is more weight on some of the gondolas. You can tell some of these have a little bit of sag more than others. Some of them don't have any sag at all. So as they add more and more weight, they'll get closer to the full load test. And then once they pass that and everything is safe, then they'll eventually start putting, which will be cast members, then eventually work up to. So they've added this here. Like I said, the bus stations, really gorgeous for everything that's occurring inside. Star Wars is a huge draw. And because of that, just all the people that they're going to be expecting for Star Wars. And Disney did drop that bombshell that they're opening at the end of August. It was originally supposed to be towards the end of the year, but they're going to Star Wars at the end of August. Very cool. Now we're on, which is the Millennium Falcon ride, and then the Resistance up later on in the year, which is fine. At least we'll be able to get inside and itself, see how amazing it is. Blue milk.
8 lanes wide.
Skip Fret's going to be here in a month. Awesome. Crazy Giraffe Lady did not like Hollywood. Oh, I'm sorry about that. There's just a lot going on here, but Hollywood is great, and I think by the time we're done with what they're doing and some of the potential ideas that could be going in here, I think Hollywood Studios is going to be pretty much one of the premier parks as far as all theme parks. It's going to be pretty amazing. So we'll walk a little further up towards this entrance. So you can see we would get off the bus stations, you get off the Skyliner, and it's not too bad of a walk. But again, all this is fenced off. Eventually this will all come down when they're done. Still have the current boat dock over there, and I don't believe there's any plans to change that. There shouldn't be. That's just fine in itself. But this structure right here, this is, again, what I originally thought was going to be the new tram station is not. This is actually all new front entrance, and these are going to be the security areas that you're going to be coming through. So this is going to wrap around from the tram area, which we saw over there, just over the fence. Then you have the Skyliner and the buses that'll come from this direction. So as you walk up, this is all going to wrap around. So this is just kind of the phase one of the new security area here. And as you walk around, all of this is going to change as well. So you see the Mickey Mouse here with the broomsticks. This is going to get relocated more towards the front. So this is going to move up and more than likely be right in this area here. They may even bring down this current building here, and that's probably where you're going to see Mickey. So that'll be sort of your new front entrance as you're coming up. And then this is actually going to wrap totally around, and they're going to bring this all the way down. So you're going to meet the boat transportation. All of your guests are going to come walking through this whole front area. So this is going to extend all the way across and become all your new security checkpoint. So you can see right now, the security that they have in place, you get the huge crowds just now. So there's a lot of backup. There's going to be potentially about 60 new security tables as we go through. So they're going to be able to accommodate a huge amount of guests. Ciro, hey Rob, watching from Puerto Rico. You're welcome for the daily updates. Let's see, Bird, stream, really back video and audio blast. Black is all I hear. Not quite sure, maybe having trouble with the transmission. Is anybody else having trouble? Hopefully not. Do you think Disney wants all the transportation done before the opening of Star Wars? Yeah, I actually do. With that announcement, I really feel that the Skyliner, at least the line from Caribbean over to Hollywood, will most likely open prior to that. The bus terminals, obviously those are going to probably be done within the next month. They are so close to being done. The boat transportation, already in operation, no problem. The trams in this entrance should definitely be done prior to Galaxy's Edge as well. They may have this first section open and then close off this side. They'll do it in stages. So once this is complete over here, they'll be able to fence all this off and then do their construction on this side as well. Fabio, hey from Argentina. Ciro, stream doing great now. All right, very cool. David, it's looking and sounding better now. It just must have been in a bad area there, so hopefully we're catching up here. At least first time catching you live. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, guys, so as I approach the security here, I'm actually going to have to drop my camera down. If you've been live with me before, you can't have the camera up going through security. So if you bear with me, as I get closer, I'll have to drop it. I'm not being rude, but you're going to see the ground for a little bit once we get through. And then I'll bring you back up once we get closer inside. So I just don't want to get in trouble, so I'm going to drop the camera.
This one is good? Get out. Get out. Don't do it like that. You say you're at work. I can't see. Get out. Hey, buddy. How you doing? You good?
Do you need to check anything here, camera-wise, or?
What happened to you, man?
Good.
What is the news in Disney vlog?
Hey, man, how are you?
Why do you have a news?
Just coming through, seeing everything that's going on here, yeah.
You're good, you're good.
All right, appreciate it, man.
You got the announcement, right? Star Wars Land.
Oh, yeah, that's why I'm here. We're talking about it, so.
We are excited, and we're going to have our new home in here.
Yeah, the whole new security area here, yeah. Now, this is going to wrap all the way around, right?
Yeah, they're going to open the first house first, and then they're going to start working all this in here. And then, you know,
awesome.
That's what we'll not be ready for.
Yeah.
Maybe we're ready for the Star Wars, but they want to have that ready.
Just that half and then work on the second half. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Here, the trophy, all this is gone in here.
Cool.
It's going to be like a big place. Nice.
Awesome. It's looking great.
All right.
Keep up the good work. Thank you. All right, guys. Got through security there. Security actually knew me coming through. They've watched the blog, which is very cool. They're always very, very nice here. So he was telling me exactly confirming what I was talking about with that new security entrance, how it's going to wrap all the way around. They'll open up this section over here first, and then they will eventually just wrap all the way around to the front. So the whole new front entrance is going to basically expand up. So they'll probably redesign a lot of everything inside here. Ticket booths will probably remain just the way they are. I don't see any reason to change anything through here, but it's just going to be this whole new front entrance area. The whole security checkpoint is going to be a lot faster, a lot more efficient, a lot more tables to get inside.
Exactly.
Hey Michelle, welcome from the UK. Very cool to see you here. So again, we're going to go through the turnstile here. Find a short line to get through. Jamie, love these live streams. This is what I look forward to when I wake up in the morning. Very, very cool, man. That makes me feel very good. Cyril, love Disney's Hollywood Studios as much as Magic Kingdom. Hollywood Studios just keeps getting better. Absolutely. They have a ton of stuff going on here, and I'm actually going to talk a little bit about some of my theories when we're in here too. The more and more I'm starting to believe that something else big is going to happen in here. All right, I'm going to drop the camera one more time here, guys. Sorry about this. Okay, thank you. Had to put my finger in the fingerprint reader. All right, so we made it through the front entrance. Most of this should remain the same. I don't see them having any reason to change what we see up here. We're still going to see the stage as we walk up. The Chinese theater, fingers crossed, is going to remain exactly the way it is. They won't change the facade for the Mickey and Minnie ride that's coming in, which Mickey and Minnie should also be opening towards the end of summer. I am looking forward to the Mickey and Minnie ride. I just wish, and I've voiced this before, and trust me, don't get my daughter started on this because she'll go crazy, that they didn't remove the Great Movie Ride. I'm sure there's a lot of people that agree with me out there that was such an iconic ride here. It was such an amazing ride. Sure, it could have used a little bit of updating, but it was so incredible to go through. It's so iconic for Disney. So very sad to see that go. I wish they could have built Mickey and Minnie somewhere else on property. I love the fact that they're using new technology and it's going to be completely amazing. But I really feel that they probably could have done something different with that. So we're going to head over to the left first. We're going to talk about some things. We'll see what will be the new entrance for Galaxy's Edge. Then we'll make our way around the park and we'll talk a little bit about what's happening over by Toy Story Land and some of the possibilities over there. All kinds of theories out there, all kinds of possibilities. I mean, Disney has all kinds of directions that they could possibly go. You know, we might be looking at some pretty big announcements coming up for D23. Obviously, the talk of a fifth gate would be amazing. You know, it's been floating around out there forever about a heroes and villains park. It'd be very, very cool. I mean, we'd love to see some awesome villain rides. You know, you could have two sides to the park. You know, heroes fighting villains. You know, we've been talking about that for years and years and years, about that being a potential fifth gate. Primetime Cafe, all of this is going to remain the same. No talk about changing any of this. We do have the Indiana Jones Spectacular that's still here, and one of the possibilities is possibly to extend and make sort of an Indiana Jones land or a mini land. There is space to work behind you know, behind Indiana Jones and behind Star Tours. This actually goes all the way back to the cast parking lot. There's all kinds of office space back there, a lot of you know, cast member only areas back there, storage, those kind of things. So depending on what Disney really wants to do, what kind of real estate they want to use here within the park, there's all kinds of possibilities, whether or not they can relocate a lot of things that are already back there. But I'm happy that they haven't done anything with this Indiana Jones because I love it. I love the show. There's obviously the new movie coming out, so you know, they could expand on that a little bit. It is popular, but I don't really know if it's popular enough to really devote any more attention to here, depending on what the new movie is going to be. I think that they would be able to do far greater things, especially with Pixar and all the animation. All right, let me try to catch up on some comments here. Pasta Fazul, I heard that they got rid of the movie ride because Disney lost rights to Turner Movie Channel. You know, I'd heard that too, but you know, there's ways around that. Like I said, it could have had a redesign. A lot of the things that you know, they still could have utilized in there, they could have updated to some different movies. Just the concept itself, I think people really appreciated having everything to do with all the movies, especially being at Hollywood Studios. You know, you want to see that whole movie package. And it was just iconic. It's hard to see such iconic things go. Colleen, let's see, my daughter works in Toy Story Mania. Say hi to Jordan. If I see her, I will definitely say hi. I'll look for a Jordan. Your friend is Slinky's tailback. We'll have to look when we get inside there. Didn't know it was gone. Cloud Dancer, Star Wars, Disney's Hollywood Studios has met its quota for changes. Well, you know, that may be true, but you know, there's always ways around. Trust me, if Disney wants to do something, they'll find a way to do it. I don't know about the quota as far as, you know, permits, what they're able to still continue doing. There's just theories, you know, some of the things that I would like to see as far as speculation over by Toy Story and everything. You've heard me talk about them before, but we'll talk about them a little bit more once we get over there. You know, there's sort of fact and there's sort of fiction as far as what I would personally like to see in here. Sam Cody, excited for a new Star Wars Land date, trying to imagine how crowded it will be on opening day. Well, opening day, I would assume we're going to be standing way out here, more than likely towards the front entrance, just in a crowd of people just to get into the land. When Toy Story Land opened, which is more in that direction, the crowd actually expanded all the way in front of the Chinese Theater, and it was about 3 hours just to get inside Toy Story Land. Now, it's a much smaller land, so it's harder to get people in and out. Star Wars is going to be, I think it's like 14 acres, so you're going to fit a whole bunch of people inside there at one time. But it's going to be pretty massive. David, there was an issue with the tail, not sure that it had been removed January, February. I did not know about that. We'll check that out. Slinky's tail was on last weekend. Okay, that's cool. Says Alex. James, finally able to catch you live. Great videos. Thank you so much for being here. Bob Baker, thank you so much. Always good to have you here, my friend. Yeah, we talked about the gondola swaying in the wind. Let me grab a few more comments here before we moved in.
Hey.
Holly, welcome from Scotland. Skyliner opening. Could the Skyliner be open by midsummer? I believe that it will be now, especially the Hollywood Studios line. Because of that Disney announcement, I think they're really going to try to get that line open, especially to get over from Caribbean Beach into Hollywood Studios. I don't see any reason why they couldn't as of now. It would all depend on how far they get on the Caribbean Beach station. You know, they're still doing a lot of work over there. So if they can get that up to par and get, you know, people to actually get in and out of there, that's where it would all fall to. They can get the Hollywood Studio station done without any problem. That's just some exterior stuff going on. But they still have a lot of exterior stuff to do on the Caribbean station. A lot of stuff out front. So you can see this all behind here could, you know, Indiana Jones could expand all behind Star Tours. Again, this is all just office space, behind the scenes cast member stuff back there. So it could extend all the way down to even the Muppets courtyard behind there, even all the way up to Galaxy's Edge. There's a lot of area back there. You never know what could happen. So we're definitely getting into a bottleneck here. Looks like they've extended a construction wall out here, which is closing off this path a little bit. It makes it a little harder for people to get in and out. It's a good thing that Disney wants to get all of this out of the way now. All of this construction, even the little odds and ends, the little details, whatever they're doing behind this wall, they want to get all this done so there's no issues once Galaxy's Edge opens. You know, because you would hate to see this construction wall up when people are trying to get back here to Galaxy's Edge. Not exactly sure what's going on back here. I didn't realize this was up. I'll have to try to figure out what's going on back there. There's the Goof. He's taken off. So one of the big issues with Hollywood Studios is the traffic flow. So we came from the front entrance all the way back here to what is going to be the new Galaxy's Edge. And you can see the new entrance right here where the Millennium Falcon is. So all behind this wall is all the new Galaxy's Edge land. And to our left is the Muppets Courtyard, which Muppet Vision 3D is still back there. And you still have Rizzo's is back there, Pizza Rizzo's. But one of the problems is you sort of stop here. It sort of dead ends right now. And this has always been an issue for Hollywood studios. You have a way to cut across right here, which you can head towards, up more towards the Chinese Theater, then eventually over to Animation Courtyard. But it really isn't a very good traffic flow. So opening up Galaxy's Edge is definitely going to be helpful, especially if they open up into Toy Story Land. Now there is Andy's wall, Andy's fenced wall is over there. I can't imagine that they wouldn't want to open it up into Toy Story Land because, again, Toy Story Land is another one that just sort of dead ends and bottlenecks in there. Makes it difficult. So hopefully the grand plan is going to have a complete circular track that'll go around. So you'll be able to walk all the way through Galaxy's Edge, all the way over to Toy Story Land, and eventually get back around towards the front. Whether or not they'll expand Toy Story Land into a Pixar Land, which is something that I've talked about for a while, which would even be better because you can take that all the way back towards the Rock and Roller Coaster and just have one full circle around the park, which would give you access back onto Sunset Boulevard. So traffic flow would be amazing at that point. There wouldn't be any more of this dead end. You wouldn't have to crisscross and go back and forth. So Grand Park is pretty much going to stay, from what I know, should stay about the same. Then this will open up end of August. We're going to be able to walk right through where that Millennium Falcon is. I love this wall. I mean, just the wall alone looks amazing. I mean, this totally looks like you're walking into Star Wars. Anything you would find like on Naboo or any of these awesome Star Wars worlds. And then you're going to see all the mountain structures. You can kind of get a feel of what the Millennium Falcon is parked in front of there, these incredible mountain ranges and everything. They did amazing work over at Pandora. So you know that the work they're doing here is most likely going to top that as well. All right, I know I'm missing a lot of comments here. I'm yapping away. Let's see, James, finally able to catch you live. Great videos, help you make choices. Awesome. Wayrez, welcome. Always great to have you here. D-Wood, I would love to know how much all of this work costs. Oh yeah, more than you and I will ever see in a lifetime. iJustice Plays, that is cool. Cooper Phillips, it's in public. You guys must be talking about here. My friend's dad is working on Smuggler's Run. Oh, very cool. Maybe he can get us some very cool info. Sam Cody, so there's a little distance between Star Tours and Galaxy's Edge. Yeah, that's the one that I haven't really figured out yet. So you have the Muppets Courtyard that basically sits in between Star Tours and Galaxy's Edge itself. So I don't know if they're planning on incorporating that somehow in the future, or if it's just going to be what it is. You know, you're going to have just Star Tours as sort of separate from Galaxy's Edge itself. So I don't know. I don't have an answer for that, but I would love to know your guys' thoughts. If they're going to do something, if they're eventually going to move it or incorporate it somehow. Again, you have space to work behind the Muppets Courtyard, where you could come into Galaxy's Edge somehow and sort of incorporate that behind there. But I don't know if that's in the plans at all. I really wish they would, you know, Star Tours could be a part of Galaxy's Edge, because it would just be awesome back there.
Let's go. Let's go.
So, like I said, we're going to have to double back a little bit here because it does dead end. And we're going to make our way out towards the Chinese Theater, and we'll head over towards Toy Story Land. I can get a really good view inside of Galaxy's Edge in there. There's Goofy coming back. Got himself a hamburger and a drink of water back there, probably. See if I can make my way over to the right. I always do this to myself. I land up on the wrong side of the road and I walk against traffic. the Sci-Fi Dine-In Theater, one of my absolute favorite places to dine. I love sitting inside the old 50s cars inside there and watching the old sci-fi movies up on the screen. It completely feels like you're outside in the dark at a drive-in movie theater, and it's so much fun. It smells so good. Just walking past it, you can smell delicious barbecue. Oh, that is amazing. You know, if you've been to Disney, that is a huge part of the experience, is the incredible smells that you smell walking past the different areas. Baked goods and barbecue. Sam, if they can move it Galaxy's Edge, it would be great, but that will cost some money just to move an existing attraction. No, I totally agree. I don't see them moving the attraction itself. I just don't know if there's a way to incorporate it, like I said, behind them up at Courtyard, if you could expand Galaxy's Edge into it at all. I don't know. You're right. It's obviously this was never thought of. You know, when they built Star Tours, you know, Lucasfilm was not a part of Disney back in the day, and this was never even an option to build a Star Wars land in here. So, hello. It was never intended to be part of that. But we all know Disney is amazing. They will come up with the best possible solution, and it'll be an incredible experience. So again, it's one of these areas where it kind of bottlenecks a little bit here, so we slow down a little bit with the crowd. This is why they need to figure out their crowd flow and have a resolution to that with Galaxy's Edge opening up. And again, this is not very busy.
No, it's like a sling, and you can have them.
You're going to have wall-to-wall people here when Galaxy's Edge opens up, and these bottleneck areas are going to get really tight and really uncomfortable. Obviously, they have people that are much smarter than me who plot these out. You know, people that design these theme parks, design the flow of crowds and crowd control. I'm sure there's a lot of engineering and science that goes behind what they do.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Awesome. So, Chinese Theater, this is where the new Mickey's Runaway Railway is going to go. Should be open by the end of summer. And this is going to utilize new technology as well. I believe it's going to be a new trackless ride system and a new kind of 2D/3D screens that they're going to use. So as far as I know, you're not going to have to wear 3D goggles, but it's going to appear to be 3D when you're inside. So it's a brand new technology that they're going to introduce. It's supposed to be amazing. I mean, the ride is going to be awesome. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, a little disappointed that they're utilizing the newer animation style for the new Mickey and Minnie. You know, it's to cater to the younger, it's all right, younger generation. It has a weird animation style to it, which is, it's kind of fun to watch, but, you know, again, old school, growing up, you know, 30s, 40s, 50s with Mickey Mouse, and that's, you know, watching those cartoons over and over again. That's the Mickey Mouse that we're so used to growing up. But I guess this type of a ride is going to warrant that type of animation, which is more fast-paced, more whimsical. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on, so I can totally understand why they're using that character style inside the ride here. So most of this should stay the same as we're coming through. Again, hopefully no changes to the Chinese Theater itself. Which brings us towards the animation courtyard, which I believe the animation courtyard is pretty much going to stay similar to what it is. If anything were to happen in the future, if there's any announcements, most likely whatever they're going to do is going to be over in this area, animation courtyard, and back through down towards the Tower of Terror. Wayres, don't count on Runaway Rail to be open until later this year. From what I thought that I had seen that even prior to Galaxy's Edge opening that it was supposed to open at the end of summer. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Richard, in a wheelchair but can transfer. Can I ride Slinky Dog? You know, I personally haven't been on Slinky Dog myself. I'm not a roller coaster person, so I can't answer that 100%. But if you can transfer, I think absolutely. You can take your wheelchair back there, and you should be able to transfer over into the ride without a problem. Maybe somebody else who's actually ridden it could answer that question for you. Zippity Doodad, hey, thanks again for all your updates. Absolutely, my friend. Always good to have you here. Catherine, yes, you can stay in line until you get to Slinky. There you go. Ciro, something tells me that in the next 5 years, they'll retheme the rock and roller coaster. Which kind of brings me to what I'm going to start talking about here now. And I've talked about it in the past. And I think that a huge, huge, huge benefit to Disney would be to create an entire Pixar Land back here. Now, there's already been talks of a Monsters, Inc. attraction that could possibly go in. They've already built the Lightning McQueen attraction, which is down towards the rock and roller coaster. You know, they've already done some updates here with the Pixar courtyard down here. They put the Incredibles down here, and this is more than likely going to change to whatever Pixar movie is hot. They'll be able to update this little courtyard down here. But you can see, you can already meet Sully and Mike inside here. So it looks like they're trying to incorporate a little bit of the Monsters, Inc. inside the park, which is very cool. Which kind of tells me that they may want to start bringing more and more of that into the park. Now, you already have Toy Story Land, and we'll get in here eventually. So you can see straight down there, again, is more of Galaxy's Edge. You can see the Incredibles symbol down there at the end of the gate. Not 100% sure if they're going to open this up as a gate inside to Galaxy's Edge, or if they're going to open up the Toy Story side. This might be a possibility to open up and then leave Toy Story as is. We'll have to see once we get closer what they're actually going to open up as far as gates. But we'll head back into Toy Story Land, and we'll see what's going on in Galaxy's Edge, and then we'll talk a little bit more about my Pixar Land theories. So again, you can see how the crowd levels really start to increase inside of Toy Story Land, because again, you have one entrance in and out. So this really makes it difficult. Hello. This really makes it difficult to control your crowd levels through here, because it basically dead ends into Galaxy's Edge right now. So right through this wall here, you can see what used to be the old animation studios. That big building right now, that was all part of the animation studios when they actually did animation here on site. That's the back of the Star Wars launch bay. So it's a huge, huge area that's most likely just being used for office space and storage or whatever else they might have going on in there, but it's all backstage. There's also a huge parking deck back there, and there's all kinds of different structures that go all the way back to the rock and roller coaster. So there's a ton of prime real estate back there that's being utilized for, whatever it is doing behind the scenes, whatever Disney is doing as far as whatever the cast members use it for. So the possibility of opening this up, getting through that gate that we just saw and going into more lands, into an entire Pixar area, I think will be phenomenal. We'll talk a little bit more about that once we walk down towards that direction. I just want to get back here so we can see Galaxy's Edge. So again, you have all this pedestrian traffic that's coming through here, because there's nowhere for them to go right now. It dead ends over at Slinky Dog, and then it dead ends over into Andy's backyard fence, which is the fence separating Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land. So you come in and you basically have to come out in the same direction.
Woody and Jesse.
Hey, Michael, boo, just saying hi. I can't stay long, have to work. We'll watch, as always. Thank you for the efforts and the tours. Always great to have you here, my friend. Always have great information from you. Much appreciated. Have fun at work.
No, I know.
Jack, how long is the wait for Slinky Dog Dash? I did not. The line starts back here, so it's definitely more than likely over an hour. The line pretty much always starts back here. The actual wait time sign is pretty far up there, so I don't know if I can actually see it from here, but it's definitely going to be over an hour. This is all Slinky Dog line.
This is Landon. This is the...
So this line runs all the way over the bridge and then eventually up into the Slinky Dog entrance up there. And we'll see here. Does he have his tail? Yep, his tail's up there. Slinky has his tail. All right, so in the distance, we can see Galaxy's Edge. You can see the mountain range, alien swirling saucers, and this is where it pretty much dead ends for Toy Story Land. Now, hopefully they're going to open this up, and again, mainly based on the flow of the crowds. So it would be nice, we saw the main entrance where the Millennium Falcon was, if you could actually go all the way through Galaxy's Edge and make your way out into this area or vice versa. So you would have crowd flow that would go back and forth through all these areas. So there's no more bottlenecking, there's no more dead ends. It would be a huge, huge way to really get people back and forth around the park so you're not crisscrossing yourself. Hey, Christie's Corner. Thank you for being here. It's good to see you the other day. Apparently he was missing his tail. January and February, I guess he was missing his tail. I didn't know that, but we can see that now, that it is back. And I actually see, looks like a roadway around there. There's some vehicles going around behind the fence there, which we'll see if they open this up or not. If there's a roadway there, if Disney's utilizing that for anything, we'll see. There's a lot of rock work here. So if they do open it up, it may be over in that Incredibles area. This may stay closed, but as long as we have some sort of an access to get from this side of the park through Galaxy's Edge to the other side, that would be very, very helpful. So I zoomed in a little bit here. You can actually see the top of one of the shuttles there, which looks completely amazing. These beautiful buildings, this gorgeous rock work that's inside there. Still a lot of scaffolding and things up. So they obviously do have a lot of work to do, but they're confident that they can get it done by the end of summer. You can see that structure right there really has a lot of work still to do. But just seeing the size of the tail for that shuttle, I mean, that looks incredible. It's going to be so unbelievably oversized in there. You know, you get shrunk down to the size of a toy here, and then you're literally going into a world that is, you know, bigger than most. It's completely out of this world. It's going to be amazing. I cannot wait to get inside there. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. So a lot of fun.
Shut up.
So again, Smuggler's Run is supposed to be the first ride that opens up. That is the Millennium Falcon ride. And then later on, we're going to get the Rise of the Resistance ride. So we'll have a couple different stages of when the rides will open up inside there. Oh, my eye is stinging. I got some sweat in my eye now. Oh, that stings. Whew. Hey, Street Cred, Toy Story Land crowd flow seems like what Toontown Disney was like when it first opened. It would get instantly crowded because it was a dead end and then no way out. Yeah, exactly the same thing here. I can't imagine that Disney would just, you know, that this was part of the original plan, just to have it dead end back in here. So as far as this opening up, I really, really hope it does. It would really help with a lot of the crowds through here, because it does get so overwhelmed with people. It's actually a pretty warm day today. It's probably in the 80s right now. Edward, this really does the trick for Disney fans between visits. Thanks for all the great broadcasts. You are so welcome. Christie's Corner, hopefully both rides are open in November. Yeah, I don't think they've actually announced for the Resistance ride. Probably towards the end of the year, like originally scheduled. I didn't read if they actually have an actual date for the Resistance ride. We know that Smuggler's Run is going to be open on day one, but the Resistance will open shortly after that. So you can see Andy's fence is behind the Slinky Dog here. So right beyond this fence is basically a huge parking deck that the cast members use. It's very well concealed. It's actually pretty well concealed from World Drive as well. So they wouldn't necessarily have to remove something like that. They wouldn't have to remove a giant parking deck, but they can reutilize a lot of the buildings back here, especially that whole animation building. That is a huge building, huge real estate. So imagine walking out of Galaxy's Edge, walking through Toy Story Land, making your way around to the left here. Once we get through some of the crowds.
That's pretty cool, right? Yeah, we need to go.
Yeah, this really slows down through here. And again, it's really not that busy today. So you can see the drastic need to funnel some of these people out. So you have this area here, which could very well open up. And again, there's the old animation studios. So this could possibly open up into whatever area that they'd want to make this into. My thought will be an entire Pixar Land, or whether or not it's just a Monsters Inc. area. You can utilize Up, The Incredibles, whatever you want to do. But you could really expand through here. This is behind the Walt Disney One Man's Dream. So you have Walt Disney's One Man's Dream, you have the Little Mermaid ride, and then it goes into the animation courtyard. You have Disney Junior over there, but this building is the back of what is the Star Wars launch bay, and we'll walk over there as well. But kind of imagine yourself walking through this area into Pixar Land. What I think they should turn the Star Wars launch bay into is a Monsters Inc. attraction. And again, I've talked about utilizing that huge 3D screen technology that's out there. If you've been to Universal Studios and you've ridden like Spider-Man or Transformers, you know, utilize that kind of technology to where you're going through the factory scene at the end and all the doors are swinging through and you're actually riding those doors and you're cruising along, you're falling, you're doing all those crazy stuff, and it's an amazing experience. That would be an incredible attraction here for Monsters Inc. Definitely a way to get Monsters Inc. into the park. So you can retheme that entire area over there. I want to get over there so we can talk about it a little more. And again, if you look at a map, the possibilities are definitely there, where you could bring it right into Toy Story Land, utilize that animation area. You wouldn't have to mess with the parking deck that's back there unless you really wanted to, but I don't think you would need to. There's so much real estate with that animation studios. So this would all remain the same. You wouldn't have to do anything with One Man's Dream, which I would hate that they would ever touch this. This is actually my favorite attraction, to come through and see all of the Walt Disney history. Voyage of the Little Mermaid, again, an awesome attraction that I personally love. You know, could it use some updating? Could they move it? Could they take it out? They could very well do so, especially if there's a fifth gate and you're going to have a heroes villains scenario. You know, they could pull this out. I don't see a need to, because again, it wouldn't affect any of the Pixar area that would be behind it. And obviously it's still very popular. See a really big crowd out here. And I love the show. I love the fact that Ariel sings live in the show. Okay, so this brings us out into the animation courtyard. Disney Junior, that's fine, stays the same, no problem. Little Mermaid, this area, all of this could remain the same. But take this Star Wars launch bay and the existing building behind it, and this becomes your Monsters, Inc. attraction. This is all part of Pixar Land. Because obviously the launch bay and everything inside is not going to be needed here once Galaxy's Edge opens. You know, hopefully they're going to move all these meet and greets over there. Everything that you find in here should move over to Galaxy's Edge, and this is going to be very out of place. So they're going to want to do something with this building. So Toy Story Land, again, right over in this direction. Oh, hang on a second here. I got a Edward Bungard. Hopefully I'm saying that right. $25 super chat. Thank you so very much. That is awesome, awesome, awesome. Sorry, I was walking and talking there. I missed it. Looks like it was way back here, but thank you very much, Edward. So appreciated. So the again, Toy Story Land comes in this direction. So there's the building that we saw from over in Toy Story Land. That's the animation studio. You know, utilize all this real estate back here behind, and it also runs right down behind Sunset Boulevard. This is all open cast area back here as well, and it basically butts right into the Rock and Roller Coaster. So take this area, expand it, make your Monsters Inc. attraction here. You can even fit between what could be a Monsters Inc. attraction and the current Rock and Roller Coaster, maybe an up attraction. Think of something soaring where you're actually in the house and you're flying through the air again. All kinds of possibilities. Up would be another great attraction. And then the Rock and Roller Coaster, eventually turn that into an Incredibles roller coaster. It needs a complete revamp. Obviously, we all know that it's very dated back there, but definitely turn that into the Incredicoaster, and you have a complete Pixar area back here. The possibilities are endless. There's definitely the real estate to do it back there. Whether or not Disney can, whether or not they can handle the capacity levels, who knows? But this is just speculation. You know, you start to dream about these things when D23 comes up. What is Disney going to talk about? What are they going to do? What are they going to add? Hollywood Studios, you know, Star Wars is going to make this a premier park in itself, but something like that would just absolutely put this park over the top. And they're building all this infrastructure to accommodate huge crowd levels. So we'll head down towards Sunset Boulevard, and we'll walk back towards the Rock and Roller Coaster, because again, you already have the Lightning McQueen attraction that is back there as well. So again, it's kind of one of these out of place scenarios now that you see. You know, Toy Story Land is on one end, and then they built this Lightning McQueen attraction all the way on the opposite end, all the way down past the Rock and Roller Coaster. You know, are they planning on joining these together at some point? It just seems like seems kind of out of place to have them that separated without the potential of eventually bringing all these lands and incorporating them into one. Or all these attractions, I'm sorry. Oh, Rosie with Kylo Ren. I know I keep promising Kylo Ren. We'll see what happens here. We're concentrating on the what's coming aspect here to Hollywood. Kylo Ren is actually already here. How's it going, man? What's your name?
Brad.
Brad. I'm Rob.
Rob?
Passport to the parks.
All right.
Take it easy. And again, it's kind of one of these scenarios. You see how the animation courtyard just kind of dead ends. That's the worst part about Hollywood right now, is you have all these scenarios to where you walk into these different areas and they just dead end. You have to backtrack and you have to go back out into the main drag in order to get to where we were going. So we'll kind of bring all this full circle once we get down here. So this is Sunset Boulevard. Again, another dead end. So all behind here is all cast member area. Let me get out of the general flow of traffic here so I can stop and talk. So, kind of where we're at again here. Toy Story Land off in the distance. Animation Courtyard just on the other side here. Again with the launch bay and all that animation studio area. So, expanding again from the Monsters, Inc. ride, which could be the Star Wars launch bay there. Expand behind here, which is all open real estate. That basically, again, goes right into the Rock and Roller Coaster, which is just beyond here. Turn that into the Incredicoaster. So you have a Monsters, Inc., you can have Up attraction, your Toy Story Land, just an incredible Pixar area that would run all the way back. Which in turn, if they do indeed open up Star Wars Galaxy's Edge into Toy Story Land, you could walk from the front entrance just like we did. You'd come in to the left, head in towards Galaxy's Edge, past Star Tours, walk all the way behind Galaxy's Edge, all the way into Toy Story Land, which would become Pixar Land, all the way back here, and all the way out onto Sunset Boulevard and back around. The crowd flow would be absolutely perfect as you were coming through here.
I'm letting you pick because I don't know what's true.
Is it a dream? Absolutely. Is it possible because it's Disney? Absolutely. Florida Jokion, per Disney's announcement, entrance to Star Wars Land will be limited by daily passes obtained online, smartphone, or via kiosks. Now, I did hear that they were taking the reservations for Disneyland, but I didn't hear that they were doing that for Disney World, unless it's been updated. I know that they won't have fast passes available at first. But as far as
We're going on.
actually getting inside, I know you're going to need a reservation for Disneyland, but I did not believe you were going to need it for here. So you can actually see the blue structure there in the background. That is the ride building for Rock and Roller Coaster. So it's an all indoor roller coaster, so they can totally change this around. So everybody's trying to duck underneath me here. Let me get out of the middle of the road. So many people that come through. All right, so even behind the Sunset Ranch, all real estate back there. You can see how far back it actually goes because the Rock and Roller Coaster building is back there. So all this can remain as well. Sunset Boulevard doesn't have to be touched. This could all be enclosed into its own Pixar area back there. Smells delicious through here as well. You smell like salsa, like chips and salsa through here.
I think today we're going to be doing a flash pass.
So we dead end into the Tower of Terror. So this potentially becomes the new entrance for Pixar Land into what could be an Incredicoaster, an indoor Incredicoaster. And then we're going to see the Lightning McQueen attraction that's back here. You can see the sign for it right there, Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy. Coming soon, March 31st, I believe that is supposed to open. So we'll keep moving along here. I don't personally come back here for much because, again, not a roller coaster person, so I would love to have a reason to come back here. Hopefully the Lightning McQueen attraction is going to be fun. But you can see kind of the, go Cavs. Sorry, yes, Cleveland Cavalier shirt. I'm from Cleveland, so. So all the way back here is the new Lightning McQueen attraction. So you're kind of walking back into a dead end area. So another one of these reasons for the crowd flow to go all the way around would be really, really nice. And let me zoom in again, just beyond those trees. That is the animation building that we were looking at over in Toy Story Land. So you can see how close this actually is. I mean, it's literally, you know, it's a straight shot from here just directly across into Toy Story Land over there. So how they can incorporate all this back there, we'll see if they even intend to, but the possibilities are definitely there. So we know for a fact that Star Wars Land is definitely coming. It's opening up end of August. All the transportation that they've done here, the Skyliner, the new bus stations, the new tram, the huge security entrance now that's going to have 60 new security tables that'll wrap around the front. All the infrastructure that they put in place, the new auto entrance, the expansion of the parking lot. All of these people that they're going to try to start getting into Hollywood studios and all the accommodations that they're making. Does it leave open the possibilities for even more here? I'm sure you guys have had a ton of thoughts as I'm walking around here. I haven't been able to keep track on too many of the comments, but I'll try to go back here and take a look. You can see again, that is the animation building. So this runs right behind the launch bay and right over into Toy Story Land. Mad Cooking, Tower of Terror has a refurb going on. That's why there are ropes up only one side of the tower. Yeah, I actually forgot that. Thank you for bringing that up. That is another refurb that's going on. They didn't close down the Tower of Terror, but they're refurbing each of the elevator shafts. So they'll keep one open and then close the other. Christie's Corner. I've never been on the Rock and Roller Coaster either. It's not. It's definitely not for me. I'm not a roller coaster person. My daughter absolutely loves that stuff, so she's the roller coaster person. Dave TV 13, thanks again for the great video. Recovering from heart surgery helps pass the time. That is awesome. I hope you are feeling better. Hope you get better every day. Keep yourself healthy. Very important. I'm glad I could hopefully keep your stress levels down. Edge 70. They have to do something about the crowds are bad and the park's only half open. Yeah, I mean, there's so much going on here. Obviously, it doesn't help that there's construction going on and the crowd, you know, walking through here and seeing it firsthand, you guys really get an idea of how bad this park is set up as far as the crowd flow. So we definitely need some possibilities to open that up. And again, these are just my ideas. We know what's fact. Star Wars Land is fact. Mickey coming is fact. All the infrastructure is fact. The Pixar Land back there, that's just speculation. That's just my own personal idea. But when you think about it, it would really make some huge improvements to the park. Just getting around and just the attractions themselves, I think would be amazing. Dave, what I still want to know if anyone can ride the gondolas. Hang on, I lost you here. Or will they have, come on, you comments, and keep jumping on me. Or will they have the magic band saying that you're staying in the resort? That has not been announced. We've talked about that. There's no announcement as far as magic bands or charging for the ride. I think charging is very much out of the question. The magic bands could be a possibility, at least at first, to ride the Skyliner. They may open it up in the future once crowd levels start to dwindle down a little bit. But it could be a possibility that you have to at least prove that you have a park admission or be staying at the resort in order to ride. JW Doss, so the crowd flow is similar to our beloved Disneyland. Yeah, I think Disneyland, I've never personally been there, so I can't attest to it, but at least it still does have the wagon wheel design, which Walt was famous for. And that's what they don't have here. There's so much crisscrossing. They need to have that circular motion to get around the park, which the other parks do have. Hollywood is just the only one that doesn't. Let's see, what else we got here? Brandon Joseph, no magic band needed for public transportation. That's the way it is now. That's the way it's always been. Like I said, Disney hasn't made any announcements as far as needing that. But all the transportation to ride is free, and hopefully it will remain to do so. I would be disappointed if they were to limit it, which being, it's going to have the ability to transport so many guests at such a rapid pace. I don't think they're going to want to do that. They're going to want to get people in and out of these parks as quickly as possible, and they're not going to want to limit it. So, to ride it, just to get people in and out, that's what it's there for. That's what it's designed for. Kevin, Rob, is a VIP dining package for Fantasmic worth it? I don't think for Fantasmic it's probably worth it because, we walked in the other night. It was a Saturday night. We just walked in, got here about half an hour before, and we had really good seats. We were almost towards the center, just a little over to the right, and we are actually sitting in the center area. Again, it's not the summer, it's not the highest crowd levels you're going to have here. But, you can get in, you can get yourself really decent seats without a problem. Plus, you can utilize the Fast Pass. So, the dining package, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Other scenarios, I think it works out well. I don't know what all the packages are. Fireworks probably would work out pretty well for some. The concerts, I think, is a good one to have dining packages for. But any of the nighttime shows, I don't think it's really that big of a deal unless you really, really want, spectacular seating for like illuminations or something. But you can always find yourself a good spot. Utilize it for something. I think the concerts, would be the one thing that I would utilize a dining package for more than anything. Like the concerts over at Epcot. D-Wood, well, according to the concierge at POP, we were told that once the gondolas are open, the resort price will go up because the extra amenities, so it will not seem likely to make exclusively for guests. That's another thing that I don't believe is going to happen. I don't think Disney is going to hike prices anything out of the ordinary that they would beyond normal inflation. There's been no announcement for that. Coronado Springs is, they're building the tower over there. As far as the moderate resort pricing, that whole resort is going to stay very similar to the moderate resort. Is set for the tower, where you're going to have more of a premium level in the tower. You're adding some transportation in there, but I don't see them hiking the price tag just based on that. They want to keep They want to keep their value resorts as much as possible. So many people utilize them. Obviously, they're the largest resorts. The All-Stars, Pop Century, Art of Animation are some of the largest resorts on property because the majority of the people are staying there for the value that you get. Disney is building other higher-end hotels. The Star Wars Hotel, which, again, there's another issue we didn't talk about, was the Star Wars Hotel here. You would actually consider that part of Hollywood Studios. It's actually behind Galaxy's Edge. You can't see it from inside the park. Joe, welcome, my friend. Thank you so very much. Again, with the awesome super chat, $20 from Joe. Good afternoon. Always good to have you here, my friend. Much appreciated. You know that. But the Star Wars Hotel, you can see it from Osceola. And they basically just have the land cleared back there. There's large amounts of dirt. There's heavy machinery back there. But they have no structure up yet whatsoever for the Star Wars Hotel that's going to go behind Galaxy's Edge. That's not supposed to be done until, I believe, 2021. So we still got a long way to go as far as the Star Wars Hotel. But that is going to be amazing in itself. That's going to be one of those scenarios where you're totally leaving this planet. You're going up into space, and you're going to stay into, you know, this whole Star Wars scenario where you can even dress up like Star Wars characters and things like that. So that should be a lot of fun. But I would consider that part of the Hollywood Studios expansion. But again, we were talking about resorts. Because, you know, they're building these other resorts. A more premium resort is going to be the one over, the nature one that's going to be over at Fort Wilderness. Obviously, the Cove is going up over at Swan and Dolphin. Not that Disney owns that, but that's actually owned by Marriott. But, you know, it's another higher-end property that's going to be, or a higher-end resort that's going to be on Disney property. Joe, looking forward to meeting me in July. Absolutely. Can't wait for that myself. That'll definitely be a lot of fun. Let's see, Richard, will Disney World get a night parade? That's another great question. That is something that has kind of disappeared from here. The Magic Kingdom with Spectral Magic and I'm sorry, what was the other one? Geez, I totally blanked out. But yeah, the nighttime parades. I haven't seen one in a while. I haven't seen anything about one coming back. They were supposed to, there was talks about one coming back, but I don't know a whole lot about that. I haven't heard anything about one coming back. Even the parades that used to come through through Hollywood Studios. Sorry about that. They've kind of limited themselves on parades lately. So we're going to try to get out of this sun here. Get into a little bit of shade so I can see your comments. Let's see, live and learn. I'll need some rum in my blue milk come September. Yeah, I'm sure they'll have some alcoholic versions of whatever they do with the blue milk. I guess there's blue milk and green milk. So that'll be a lot of fun. David Zoo Rob, today from Cleveland, Ohio. Awesome, awesome, awesome. You know I'm from the Cleveland area, so always cool to have you here. Steve, do you think they will sell early morning and after hours tickets for the August opener? Again, I think that's another thing that is not going to happen. I don't think they're going to have early park admissions or anything like that set up for Galaxy's Edge at first. That'll probably change in the future, but as of right now, I don't believe they're doing that. Matthew Kine, thank you so much. Super Chat, $19.99. Very kind of you, Matthew Kine. I truly appreciate that very much. Sandy, Main Street Electrical Parade. That's the one I couldn't remember. I was a Spectral Magic fan. I loved Spectral Magic when it was here, but the Main Street Electrical Parade, that was the popular one. Spectral Magic was back in the 90s, which was an era that I truly, truly loved here.
This is like California.
Jump inside one of the shops here real quick, just to get a little cool down. Liam, the new nighttime parade is rumors for the 50th anniversary. That would be awesome. I mean, that would be great if they brought one for the 50th. Definitely to celebrate the Magic Kingdom. That'd be very cool. It's a great idea. Disney Grandma, is it typical that the crowd levels for this time of year? Is it typical, or hang on a second. Or is this a holiday week that I'm not aware of? No, we're starting to get closer to the spring break time. My daughter's spring break is actually next week, so the crowd levels are going to start to go back up. January and February, they usually decrease after the holidays, and then once March hits, the crowd levels will start to increase again as spring break approaches us. Richard, will Disney have extra hours for Galaxy's Edge? We talked about that. I don't believe at first that they were going to allow the extra hours. I think that's something that I read, that they weren't going to have extra hours for the opening, but I'm sure they will sometime in the future. Liam, demolition begins on old River Country site for a new DVC hotel. I have not been over there to check yet. I'm definitely going to head over there and start checking into that. I've been following the Cove a little bit, which is the Swan and Dolphin. I'll definitely keep following that for you guys, but I'll check up on that new River Country hotel and try to keep you guys up to date on that. Greg, it's beautiful outside today. Yes, it's a little warmer. I've been sweating pretty good today, walking around in the sun. Julio, Rob, are you planning to go to D23 Expo in Disneyland, California? Unfortunately, I am not. I've never been to a D23. I won't be able to make this one, but I will definitely try to make plans to make the next one. It would be amazing. I mean, the things that are discussed there and the first-hand things that you can see, just to be a part of that, I absolutely want to be a part of that in the future. Christie's Corner, I haven't seen the announcement yet, but I would think that they would do a soft opening to help the crowds. Again, I'm pretty sure that I read that they were not going to do early morning openings. Are we talking about Galaxy's Edge for soft openings? Could we get an actual soft opening, like a pass holder soft opening? That would be cool as well. I'd love to get in on that. All right, everybody. So that is my little walk around for Disney's Hollywood Studios today. Just wanted to kind of keep you guys informed on what we see here, Galaxy's Edge especially. It looks like they still do have a lot of work, a lot of rock work and stuff to do, probably a lot of interior stuff, but they are really moving ahead, and obviously they think that they can get it open by the end of August, which would be amazing to me. We saw the bus stops out front. We saw the new security entrance, how that's going to completely wrap around the front, and the whole entrance is going to have a completely different look to it. The Skyliner is looking amazing. The trams will eventually get moved up as well. Very cool to see. What else do we see? Mickey and Minnie. Maybe by the end of the summer. Other people are saying that it might not be till the fall that Mickey and Minnie actually opens up. And again, just keep letting me know your thoughts on this whole Pixar Land idea that I've kind of been tossing around. We'll see what they announce at D23, if it's a fifth gate, if it's something to do here at Hollywood Studios, if they're going to expand Pixar Land or Monsters, Inc., or anything to do with all that area back there, or if they're going to do something in another park. You know, could they expand? Obviously, we know they're doing a lot of stuff over at Epcot as well. Maybe some mountain ranges back in the countries. You know, Germany could have a nice mountain range roller coaster. Japan, you could do like a Mount Fuji or something back there, a roller coaster, which would be pretty cool. So just a lot of ideas. I'd love to hear your guys' ideas too. What do you think? What would you love to see? The Heroes and Villains Park, anything Marvel to come into the parks. Let's just throw ideas around, have some fun with it, and see what we can guess for D23, and we'll go from there. So I will definitely keep up on the Skyliner stuff, all the other construction that's going on. I'll probably be back maybe tomorrow or the next day. I try to get out as much as I can. Definitely Thursday and Friday. So I appreciate you guys being here. Love all the super chats. Let me see these again. Matthew Kine, thank you so much for the super chat. Joe, always thank you. Edward, thank you so much for that super chat. JW Dasso, thank you very much for that super chat as well. You guys are also very generous. It's much appreciated. If you do also want to support, I did add somebody had asked about going through PayPal to show some support for the channel. I did at passporttotheparks.com add an icon there if you want to support through PayPal as well. It's much appreciated to try to help fund gas and stuff to get back and forth to the parks. But just love having you guys here. Comment, like, subscribe, all that great stuff, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Bye-bye.